possibly could be the world's most boring video, but let's give it a go anyway. So, Trooper video. Wheel bearings on off-roaders, you know, just you chew for them because they're sitting mud half a life and it just acts like a grinding paste. And there's always the argument, do you buy cheap wheel bearings because you're going to replace them pretty often, or do you take the plunge and buy an expensive wheel bearing hoping that the cost reflects the quality? And I don't know, I've not seen much evidence over the years if there's any truth in it, I don't know. So, wheel bearing kit, look at the dirty hands. Wheel bearing kit for Trooper front wheel is £17. This one from a main sort of dealer, I won't go into names, this is £46. So let's open them up and let's see if we can see is there any difference. Right, so both are pretty much packaged the same. The only difference being with the more expensive one you get some grease, whereas the cheaper one you don't. When you kind of put them closer together, so bear in mind the right hand side is the more expensive one. First impressions is the inner bearing looks pretty similar. There's no noticeable massive difference apart from the codes are more prominent or noticeable on the more expensive bearings. The quality of the sort of inner race looks very similar. The outer bearing shell, again this is only just visual, looks pretty similar on both. See straight away the difference in the oil seal, or the seals, and the dirt seals we're going to call them. This is the cheap one, this is just a hard plastic one, whereas this one's a metal shelled and it's got a bit more of a lip on it. So that's more expensive, that's got more of a lip on. So let's flip them over, have a look at the back. Right, so that's the bearings flipped over. Again, more expensive ones on the right. Right, so that's them flipped over again. More expensive one is on the right. Looking at the quality, again, it's impossible to see. The only difference I can notice is on the cheaper one. There's more of a chamfer on the inner edge compared to the more expensive one where there isn't. Same again on the inside of the cheap one compared to the more expensive one. We've already discussed the sort of dust covers. Again, that's got quite a, I don't know, that's more flexible in a sort of rubber seal compared to a harder one on this one. But visually there's very little difference that you can actually notice. But I mean, I imagine the difference is going to be in the quality of the materials. But I'll tell you what would be well interesting now, I'm just going to nip into the kitchen and look, is actually to weigh the bearings, see if there's any weight difference. Right, kitchen scales. So again, put the price, you can see £17, £46. So if you look, cheaper one 328 grams, more expensive one 336 grams, and then the outer bearing 259 grams and 266 grams. So the more expensive ones are slightly heavier. I imagine that's going to be reflected in the quality of the materials. It's like, can you justify spending, you know, almost 3 times more on the more expensive bearing compared to the cheap one? It's like a toss-up. Don't know. What do you guys think? You know, leave some comments if tell me what you think. Is this just a pointless, stupid exercise? I mean, the real proof would be to run the more expensive one on one side and the cheap one. Ooh, don't know. Another test I'm just going to have a look at is actually see if we can see if there are any measurement differences on. I imagine what's going to wear is the inner rollers. So let's just check, see if there's any difference in diameter of the rollers. I think I'm boring myself with this video. So, inner bearing, the best I can measure with the sort of verniers of the inner sort of roller bearings, whatever you want to call them, 6.5 on the more expensive, 6.5 on the cheaper. The outer bearings, 6.8 on the cheaper one, and the more expensive one, 7.2. So the inners are the same. The outers, if I've got these the right way around, is slightly bigger on the more expensive one. So it's like, what do you do? I mean, the reason I bought these two is I'm going to put the more expensive one in, see how long that lasts, and keep the cheap one just as a backup, just in case you have a bearing that's collapsed, so you can always whip them out. But yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.